Hi, welcome to the next series of Big Data Analytics. Now in this particular session, we will be discussing about the open source technology and how the open source technology is very important and how it is going to help our big data analytics or in general big data. So next we will be looking into the cloud and the big data as well as the mobile business intelligence and the analytics. Now first let us start with the open source technology. Now all of us knows that many of the companies right now they prefer whatever you are going to develop in an open source environment. So open source technologies we have got, so many open source programming languages we have got. What is this actually the open source community is? So you can define that open source software is nothing but it's a software or platform that is available in source code. Now it is completely, the entire software is available in a source code with the source code free of cost with an open source license. Now there are certain rules and regulations when using an open source technology or open source software also. Now with the license we can study, we can change, you can improve on that particular software. Like say for example, we download an open source technology or a software, and depending upon our requirement, now we can change that particular software and or we can change the entire platform and develop applications on this particular software. So a lot of examples are there with respect to the open source technology, like say the Hadoop what we are going to discuss. Now it's also an open source which is available in the open source. Similarly, one very famous example we can note it is the GNU, that is general purpose license. Now which is a license which is under the open source technology, which allows the free distribution. So whenever like say you are going to create one technology or a software and release it in an open source, now you have to agree with this particular general purpose license, so that now any other person in the world who is going to download, he can contribute to your particular whatever the software you have developed. So once you develop and put that in an open source community, it does not belongs to you. So other people can also further develop this particular applications, and they can put under the same license of GPL, that is general purpose license. So like say the best example we can look is with respect to the Red Hat Linux. So the project called as the Linux operating system, now which is everybody knows that Linux is a free operating system. Now what the company Red Hat did is that they downloaded the they downloaded the Linux free version of the operating system, and they modified that. They added so many features and they called it as a Red Hat, and again they released that Red Hat as an open source into the environment. Now apart from this, even many of the traditional, we can say the proprietary stack or proprietary softwares, so that means a software designed by an individual company. Like say for example, if we design a software for our college, right, if you people design one particular software for our department or a college which we are only using, so then we call it as an proprietary software or a stack. Now there are so many other commercial companies or proprietary companies are there now which are providing lot of free capabilities or like say training or professional services to the open source environment. Like say some of the one of the company called as Cloudera. Now it supports lot of functionality with respect to the Hadoop. Now it is once again the open source, so especially for learning purpose, for training purpose. Now we can go to the Cloudera company, download the entire Hadoop, and we can work with that particular Hadoop also. They are also contributing, various private organizations are also contributing a lot with respect to the open source. So now what is the main advantage of this open source is it does not belongs to one particular person or a simple or a small group of vendors. Now it is an open to all the community, all the IT community, that anybody can work with that. They can contribute for the welfare of the software as well as the technology. So as we were telling that there are so many companies like say Teradata, Astra. Now they define something called as SQL for Hadoop itself. So some query language they have defined such that you can try to access or you can try to process the data once you are storing it in a MapReduce in our Apache Hadoop. Now these are some of the private organization. Now we know that Hadoop is completely open source. Now, and in one hand we have got private organizations now which are providing some of the we can say the technology or a platform through which we can try to work with this open source community or open source technology also. This is what we can say the advantage of having the open source technology, or we can say open source software. So this is one particular topic today which we are going to discuss. The second one is the cloud and the big data. Now, as you all of us know that cloud technology is one of the very emerging technology, or we can say which right now everybody are using. Like say simple example is that today whatever online classes we are doing, right? Now I record this video or put a particular file, everything we are storing it in a drive. Now what is that particular Google, which is being provided by Google or any other vendors, they give us some space of amount in their database, or we can say in their storage area, where we are going to put the data so that the other people can access that. So because in my personal system, or I don't have a server wherein which I can store all the data and send that data to all of you people. Since I don't have a server on my own, so what I am doing, I am taking help of the Google Drive, because Drive is giving me around 15 GB of data, so that I can store this data into the Drive, or into the, now we can say instead of Drive I will use the term cloud. Now I will we are storing the data into the Google Cloud, right? The cloud infrastructure provided by the Google, so that it helps me in storing some data, so and I can transmit, or the other customers can download that particular data, right? So the cloud has changed the entire business scenario. So previously what various organization was thinking is that now cloud is not visible for us, or to use the cloud environment, because how we can trust especially the security aspects of our data. But nowadays a lot of works have been done with respect to the security providing in the cloud environment. So by using actually the cloud, the organization thought that really you can save a lot, that is return on investment. Many of the things we can try to save it. Now going ahead with the cloud, now generally there are three important things which the cloud provides to the customer as a services. You can see here the first one we call it as a IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service. So we the cloud provides a infrastructure as a service. The second one is platform as a service, and the third one is software as a service. Now let us in brief let us try to understand what do you mean by the first one, that is the infrastructure as a service. Now infrastructure, now say for example, now there are so many private organizations which are providing the cloud. It can be the Google, it can be the Microsoft Azure we call it as, and we have got Amazon. Amazon is a very big company which is providing a lot of cloud functionalities. Now we have three things which generally these companies or various companies who are providing the cloud. So one is infrastructure, the platform, and a service. So now in an IT company, so as a company or as an organization, now you want to develop a software. Now we need these three important things, because as a company you need an infrastructure, right? So you need a platform for designing and developing of a software, and obviously you need a software which works on this particular platform. So always the software works on one particular platform. So now infrastructure means the various let us say hardware infrastructure here we are talking about. Say for example you want to do with respect to the very big application, you want to do it and you want to store it in a servers. You need a lot of servers, or let us say you need a backend. Now since you are a small company, you don't have so much of finance thing, so that you can procure a very huge IT infrastructure, very huge amount of let us say the servers or the database or the network, when you are talking the bandwidth through which you are going to work. Now in that particular thing, now what a small company like my company assumes that we have a small company, how I can go or how I can solve this, because I don't have so much of money to invest and whatever the software I want to design, now that's the revenue what I am going to generate the revenue from that particular software is very less, but my infrastructure requirement is very huge. So if I go and purchase this infrastructure on my own, so whatever I am going to get after selling this software, I am under a loss. So it is not feasible for me. So what we can do is we can approach these organizations like say Microsoft or Amazon or any other people and purchase from them infrastructure. Right? So I am going to purchase, let us say, servers. I am going to purchase systems. So because I need a particular infrastructure to work with the high-end machines, but I don't have high-end machines. I am just using a normal laptop, but how to work with a high-end machine? So what we do is we purchase that for certain period of time, so it reduces my cost. So after finishing this software, I don't need that. I don't need high-end servers, because I need that server only for a certain period of time to design and develop one particular application. So we call it as infrastructure. So those big organizations, they provide me whether it is the high-end RAM or the memory speed, or let us say RAM speed, the capacity of the memory, the servers, etc. Infrastructure they are going to provide. So we call it as infrastructure as a service. They are going to sell infrastructure. Similarly, platform. Now they are going to sell us a platform. Say for example, you want to design one application. As we are told, we are designing an application. Now you need a Oracle platform, or you need a, let us say, the .NET platform. So instead of purchasing the licensed version, now I can get these platforms as a rent from the cloud. Right? So they are going to service platform also as a service. And the third one is software. So now software also can be given apart from the infrastructure and the platform as a service. So I need not have the software in my system to develop the application. So I will take the software for a rent for a certain period of time until my project is completed. After finishing, no need. So these are the three important services what the cloud is providing to us. So now let us look into this particular diagram, now which clearly indicates that how the cloud is going to help with respect to our analytics. Now if you look here, now you have got a client side interface at one end, and we have got the final visualization or analytics what you are going to see in the right hand side. Now when you look into the big data, now as we have already seen in the previous series, that we have so many characteristics of big data. So three important V's, and apart from that various other V's like variety, velocity, value, variability, all these things already we have discussed. So in the front end we have our big data is there, and the big data is being grouped under structured data, unstructured data, semi-structured data, right? So any data it can have. So now using this big data, now we are going to do the analytics. Now how we are going to do the analytics? Now we are going to store and process the data, and one of the big data technologies what we will be learning in our course is Hadoop, right? Now in between we have got ETL interface. So now this ETL interface, we can say it is extracting, transferring and loading. So you are going to extract, transfer and load. So between this, so this is the client side. Now when you are going to do the processing, now you are going to take help of this cloud infrastructure. On the right hand side we have got, we can say that we have got the cloud. So now we have seen the three services what generally we talk in any cloud environment. So that is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and a software as a service. And when you are going to divide how many types of clouds are there, basically we have three different types of clouds. So one is called as a private cloud. Private cloud means everything is there inside our campus, right, in our location. So when you are going to store anything, the data is present inside our campus, so we call it as a private cloud. Now public cloud means the data is somewhere else. Say for example, when you're putting certain documents in the drive, Google Drive, it becomes a public cloud because it is present in somewhere else in the servers of the Google. So you don't know whether it is in India or whether it is abroad. So it becomes a completely public cloud. And hybrid cloud means, so some of the data will be inside the campus and some will be in the organization outside your campus. So we have three different types of clouds are there, and we have a lot of cloud providers are there, like say Microsoft or Amazon or various other organizations are there. So now if you want to store any data, so since your organization is very small, you can, if you are going for a public cloud, now you take help of the infrastructure as a service, because you cannot store so huge amount of data, and this organization is going to give you, let us say, Hadoop environment or any other environment in big data technology. So you are going to store the data in your cloud. You can take help of a platform, right? Or you can take the rent, we can say, in other term we can say, you are going to take rent of an infrastructure or a service or a platform from this cloud, and you can start working on this particular platform, and finally you can complete your project or get your result. So this is a simple diagram which clearly shows us how you can bridge the gap between our analytics, what all the analytics actually we want to have, and how the cloud is going to help in this particular analytics. So if you are talking about the role of the big data, the role of cloud computing, how actually the cloud computing helps us in doing our analytics. Okay, so first is IaaS in the public cloud. So now if you are taking infrastructure, as we are told, it is a cost effective solution wherein which you can utilize the infrastructure from other companies, because big data services, when you are talking about big data services, you need huge amount of storage capacity. We are talking of terabytes, petabytes of the data, big huge data, so you cannot store it. So if you are going to store all those data in your own place, you need huge amount of servers, you need a big data warehouse, data mart, which you cannot afford. So you can take the help from a infrastructure, you can take help from the cloud company, which the various cloud companies are been providing. So that is a cost effective solution, we can say. Now even in the platform as a services, right? So various platform you can take, as well as even the software also. That's what it's been given here. So when you go for the benefit of big data analytics, now what are the various benefits we can see in big data analytics by using the cloud infrastructure? The first one is it improves the analysis part. Now with the advantage of the cloud technology, so the analysis can be done in a more better form. So why analysis? Because we know that we have a lot of analysis technologies are there, but we cannot procure all the analysis technologies. So we can take it as a rent, and we can try to work with that particular analysis. So it improves our analysis, it simplifies the infrastructure. As again, going back to the same thing what we have discussed, infrastructure as a services, so that you need not have a very huge amount of infrastructure to work with. You don't need a high amount of very high speed machines also to do all these things, because there are certain companies are there, you are going to take infrastructure as a service from that. So it simplifies our infrastructure requirement for my small company. So cost, when it works to the cost, it reduces the cost also. When we are talking about when you are going to talk about the analysis, and when you want to build a data, when you want to process that particular data in a very large scale, so obviously the resources required for us is very huge, and you cannot procure those particular resources. So you just take it on a rent and finish your analysis, your task is completed. So obviously when you are going to look with respect to the return on investment or the cost involved in your analytics, the project what you are going to do and the services what you are going to get from the cloud is somewhat better. We can say that really it reduces our cost. So that is why we see that it is the cloud really helps the analytics. Not only the analytics, nowadays when whatever the software you are going to design or develop, say for example you want to do a small application, so sitting in your home, now you want to design one software, but in order to do that particular software, let us say you want a backend as an Oracle Finance. Now if you want to purchase a Oracle Finance for a single user, because you cannot design and develop a software in a pirated version and sell to a customer. It is against the law. So whatever, if you are going to sell a particular software, it should be designed, it should be developed in a legal version, or in a legal version software you have to do, or you have to go for open source technology. Now you have to see that if you have any open source platform which is available, then you can download that open source and you can do it and you can sell to the customer. But if you don't have open source, say for example Oracle Finance, you want to use Oracle Finance now, but if you want to purchase a single version of Oracle Finance, now you have to pay in lakhs. You have to pay in lakhs and get the license for that. And after, let us assume that after finishing your project, then the Oracle, the finance, the entire thing what you have purchased from Oracle is of no use for you. Then it is really a loss for us. So what is the better option right now, which is there in front of me as a small company, is that go to the cloud. So go to the big organization cloud, purchase the Oracle, purchase it for the Oracle, let us say for 2 month period of time, because my schedule is that in 2 months I will be completing my project. So 2 months I will rent the Oracle, because those company have got the legal license, they are having the legal license. So through cloud I am taking rent, I design and develop my software tools, because whatever now I do it is a licensed one, so that easily I can sell it. So you see that lot of advantage you can get by using the cloud environment. And security and privacy, and nowadays the data security is very huge. Now even in the cloud environment, whether if you are talking about the private cloud or a public cloud also, if you are going to take these services from them on a rental basis, now the companies are also having lot of high security concepts. Now they have got lot of third party securities are available for us right now, so we need not worry about the security as well as the privacy part also. That will be taken care with the larger, or you can say the enterprise or the organization which are providing us the infrastructure or the platform or the software as a services. So these are the few important points, the benefit what you can get by using the cloud infrastructure. So the next topic, or the final topic what we are going to discuss in today's series, is mobile business intelligence and how analytics is going to help in the mobile business intelligence. Now when you are talking of mobile business intelligence, now as all of us know that, so our day-to-day activity won't start and won't end without seeing our smartphone. So right from the time we get up, we need a phone in our hand. Before we go to sleep also, we need a smartphone in our hand. So that means the small devices, the smart devices, handheld devices, now it is in huge demand. That the popularity of these mobile devices has forced the organizations, has forced our IT infrastructure to develop, to design everything in the mobile device itself. So you know that there are so many apps are coming up. So whatever thing which we were doing it by using our desktop machines, now we can do the same thing by a small downloading an app, and you can do it in your mobile itself. So these handheld devices or mobile devices, why it is very powerful? Because mobility, that's why we call it as mobile. You can move it anywhere, you can take your work from anywhere to any place, you can move your work. So because of this popularity of these handheld devices, even the analytics are also now trying, so that we want the entire analytics to be in our mobile devices itself, so that you can reduce lot of time. So the time for a customer is also very, very important. So you need not waste your time going anywhere. In traveling also you can try to do analytics or try to work with your application. So the main advantage of using mobile business intelligence is to allow your end users the results of the data at any time and from any location, no matter where you are there. So you can just transmit your entire location. Now one simple example, now what we can see is that nowadays you go to a salesman, like say there are a lot of, say for example Coca-Cola or a cool drink software, if you take any companies, now there are small vendors are there. the small shops are there. Now a person who is going to deliver these product to into these persons, now previously what they used to do is that they used to have a piece of book or a paper wherein which he used to note down that to this vendor the sale is this much. So at the end of the day, the person or the salesperson, he used to note it down that today in my area how much product I have made, and he used to send a report to the higher officers, or you can say the branch or etc. Later they used to compile. Now you see that how much time it was taking for the higher management level to come to know that what is the sales is happening in my area or in one particular location. But nowadays mobile devices, you might have seen that as soon as these salesperson comes to the small vendors, as soon as they give the delivery to this particular vendor, now what he does, he takes his mobile phone. Now there is an app given by the organization, so just he will type, okay, for this and this vendor I have given this particular so many pieces of or so many quantity of the product, and just click submit. Automatically the data reaches the top level. So within no time, the branch manager sitting in one place, now he gets all the data in which particular area how much is been sales happening, what is the drawback, why there is a decrease. They can do lot of analysis on that. So you see that it improves our daily operations, right? And that's a major advantage what we can see why the mobile business intelligence is doing. So basically to speed up the decision making process, if you want to speed up why there is a drop in one particular area and the sales, everything becomes very fast. So whether you are collecting the data, the efficiency through which the organization is going to work, that is why the BI and analytics are being taking place. But there are certain challenges also we can face now when you are working with the mobile business. So the first important challenges what the organizations are facing is the managing the standards. Now this is very important. Now we know that every day there are mobile devices, hand-on devices are coming. Every day there is a change. Now if you can look into, say, the versions are being changing. Say for example, if you talk of Android, now what is the latest version of Android you are having, right? So there is a drastic, every day the versions keeps on changing, the standard. So obviously you have to meet with the standards. So you don't know the customer now which mobile phone he is using, what type of a standard he is using. That means when you are designing, when you are doing the analytics, you have to take care that you are going to address all those issues. So dealing with the standards becomes very important. That is a very challenging task which the industries are been facing. The second one is managing the security. As you know that security is also very important for us. So because you are transmitting the data and you are doing lot of things with your mobile phone itself, and obviously the lot of secure information are present in your mobile phone. It is not that you are working in one particular infrastructure or in your office wherein which you have got your desktop machines and you have login, you have password, everything, office has been locked, lot of securities are there. No, here, because the device is with you, it is in your pocket, right? So security, also managing the security is very, very important. Now apart from the security, what goes when the data is being transmitting, we have another thing which is challenging, is that the losing of your devices, right? Now you are doing lot of thing, as a manager is doing lot of thing with his mobile phone, and if he loses his mobile phone, then what about the data? Where is the security of that particular data, whatever he's been stored in his mobile phone or the information? So this is another important challenge what faced by the industry, how to give more and more security for his particular mobile phone. And of course the screen size. As you know that it even elaborate, we are talking about again the standards. So when you are talking about the standards, managing the standards, now each mobile phone has got different sizes are there, the screen size varies, the resolution varies. So today you are designing one particular front page of your software to do the analytics and to do some of the data analytics, and you try to give that analytics in terms of, let us say, some graph visualization. So now when you are watching that visualization or a graph in your desktop, now you know that even in the desktop or in your laptop also we have a lot of screen sizes coming in the laptop, etc. Similarly in mobile phone also there are a lot of phones with a different resolution and the screen size. Now you have to see that how your analysis part or the visualization is going to fit into your mobile devices, that is the screen, how it looks, the graphs, how the same graph is viewed by a particular manager who is using a very big screen mobile handle devices, and another branch manager who is using a mobile which is of smaller screen size. For both the data visualization should be in the same way, right? The limited screen size is also very limited for us. Now in that limited screen size, now how you are going to design your mobile application, that's another new challenges which has been facing. So these are the few challenges which we are going to face using the mobile devices and the analytics what you are going to devise. Now these are the few concepts which we have discussed in today's series. So in the next series, now we will try to look into this some other concept, like say software as a service. Again today in this series itself we have discussed under the cloud, and we will be looking into the crowdsourcing. So not cloud, it is crowdsourcing. What is another new technology which has been very popular right now in the industry, technique which is various organization is using. So what is a crowdsourcing and inter and intra firewall analytics, and how and the last one is research and development. So in the tomorrow's session, so we'll be looking into all these we can say the concepts. So thank you for